Hello Raptors fans, and welcome to Raptors Report. Today we're going to be examining one of the hottest and most divisive Raptors-related topics, and that is the play of Patrick McCaw. Since the rash of injuries that has plagued the Raptors over the past few months, Patrick McCaw has been playing an increased number of minutes with the squad. And with this increase in playing time, we've been able to see what McCaw brings to the table as a player. We're going to delve into the numbers, examine the game film, and really get to the bottom of the McCaw Conundrum. In the entirety of the NBA, out of 167 players who play more than 25 minutes per game, Patrick McCaw shoots the fifth fewest shots. The other players above him and around him in this range are primarily defensive role players who rarely handle the ball. Patrick McCaw, on the other hand, is a guy who initiates the offense and brings the ball up the court. He gets plenty of touches in the half court and still hardly ever takes a shot. In fact, in many plays, it appears that he's reluctant to shoot the ball. In this play, McCaw for some reason vacates the three-point line just as Lowry gets double-teamed and nearly causes a turnover. And then, after his teammates salvage the possession, he flares to the corner and declines taking the three at the last second, resulting in a travel. In most plays, McCaw will get the ball, his defender will rotate to him, and then he'll pass the ball to another player, often having held the ball for a few seconds, eating into the shot clock. He's very reticent to drive or initiate the pick and roll, and will simply dump the ball onto another player and then relocate. This play is one of the most egregious examples of this. McCaw has passed the ball in a short shot clock situation with nobody guarding him. This should be a drive or a pull-up shot, and instead, you guessed it, he swings the ball. Matt Thomas, the shooting specialist, is left to create a play, and he surprisingly manages to get into the lane and create a quality look for Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. The responsibility of guards in basketball, particularly ones who receive as many touches as Patrick McCaw, is to make things happen. Guards need to put pressure on the defense by shooting, getting the ball into the paint, and handling the ball in the pick and roll. Patrick McCaw doesn't do any of these things with any consistency. As a result, the Raptors have been getting absolutely killed offensively with Patrick McCaw on the court. Every single advanced metric points to Patrick McCaw significantly hurting the Raptors' offense when he's on the floor. And in many of the recent epic Raptors collapses, McCaw has been part of the lineups that were responsible for giving up big leads. 82games.com tracks on-off court production for NBA players, and of the players who actually receive significant playing time, McCaw grades lowest on the team. These numbers indicate that the Raptors are worse offensively and worse defensively when McCaw is on the court, by large margins. 538's Raptor analysis makes the same conclusion, and ESPN's advanced metric RPM puts Patrick McCaw at 117 out of 123 shooting guards that have played any minutes in the NBA so far this season. And he's one of the lowest rated players at any position. And it's not just the offense. All three of these metrics also suggest he's a negative on the defensive end as well. While I don't think that defense is a major problem for McCaw, and is certainly not as heinous as his play on offense, the fact that he isn't impacting the game on that end makes it even more mystifying why he's on the floor for such long stretches. McCaw has value on the defensive end because he theoretically can guard three positions, but in practice, he's not making a big impact. He has a thin frame, he has occasional mental errors, and he doesn't have the elite length that good defenders have in order to bother shooters. He does a decent job helping, staying in front of his man, and he makes the occasional good defensive read that results in a steal. But the main flaw with McCaw is that he doesn't stop players from getting where they want to go on the court, and his ability to contest shots is mediocre. So why is Patrick McCaw receiving so many minutes? This is complete and utter speculation on my part, but I think that Nurse and the coaching staff like his attitude. He knows the plays, he apparently plays hard in practice, and he seems like a team player who doesn't try to rock the boat very much. Nurse has also publicly called out two of the players competing with McCaw for minutes, namely Rondae Hollis-Jefferson and Terrence Davis.
Those guys have not understood, A, how hard we play, B, our schemes, that defense is a priority for them, etc. We got some work to do with all that crew.
Only 8 minutes for Terrence. Any reason, or was
He's not playing very well, Josh. And I know you're watching the games. Right, he's not playing very well. It's probably 5 too many.
While obviously Nurse went on to praise Hollis Jefferson and Terrence Davis in later interviews, there have been hints that there may be issues behind the scenes that are contributing to their lack of playing time. Take, for instance, the possible playing time flare-up that Eric Smith reported on back in December.
You and Leo often talk about not just Nick Nurse, but his staff, his assistants, and the impact they make. Moments ago, just before the back-to-back buckets for the Raptors, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson actually left the bench, and it looked like he was heading back towards the locker room. And he stopped midway in the tunnel, and assistant coach Jamal McGlure followed him back there, and the two of them having a rather lengthy conversation just in the hallway outside the Raptors locker room. And McGlure essentially just telling Rondae to stick with it and to kind of refocus and to get back out there and make an impact on the game, help the Raptors lock down this game. Guys?
The coaching staff may be rewarding McCaw for playing the part of the loyal soldier, so that Nurse can send messages to the team about having the right attitude and playing his system. If that's the case, one has to question how long Nurse can stick with it. Patrick McCaw's play has clearly been a detriment to the Raptors, and every available metric, be it box score stats, advanced stats, even the eye test, indicate that his minutes should be scaled back significantly. Is Nurse hoping to pull another rabbit out of his hat, a la Fred VanVleet in last year's playoffs? Well, I guess we'll have to see. And that wraps up my analysis on Patrick McCaw. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing and leave a like on the video to help the channel out. Check out my Twitter at Raptors Report for more Raptors and NBA content. Thanks for tuning in to Raptors Report, your source for in-depth Raptors content.